podcast with Tstalls and Captain Cook here. This week we are going over some bowl recap for the games that have gone on so far. Looking at UK, UofL Basketball, and not much exciting there. National Signing Day was yesterday, so let's go over these happenings. Tstalls, I'll throw it over to you. We'll start with that bowl recap.
Yeah, so first game we had on here that we picked last week was the Bahamas Bowl, which was last week on Friday. 11:30 a.m. kickoff, Miami, Ohio versus UAB. We all picked UAB, which ended up being the winner. So we all started out 1-0, which is great. And then we had the next bowl game of that day, the Cure Bowl. Jordan, how did you pick Troy in this, and what was your reasoning behind picking Troy again?
The only reason I picked Troy is Kentucky's future head football coach and John Summerall, former assistant. This is first year, I believe, at Troy. So 12-1, 13-1 with a bowl championship and a conference championship. So that is the reason I picked them. So
well, your reason was good enough to get that win. So Troy took the win there, beating UTSA, which I thought UTSA, the way they performed at the beginning of the year in their season opener, I forgot who they played against, but that season opener game was really, really good, and they ended up pulling out the win. So I kind of just based my reasoning picking them on that.
Did they play Houston in the first game?
Yeah.
Was it like triple overtime?
Yep. Yeah, and they ended up winning that game. So kind of based it off that. But, UTSA took the loss there in their bowl game. And we ended up dropping to 1-1, me and John. And then Jordan went on a 2-0 start. Next game we had was the Fenway Bowl, which was my favorite bowl game to watch thus far. For main reason is Louisville, obviously. Getting to take that win against Cincinnati. John, what were you thinking here picking Cincinnati?
Like I said in the first podcast for this, fuck them. That's why I picked Cincinnati. Not picking Louisville for the life of me. It's not going to happen unless they're playing like middle of nowhere state. I thought Cincinnati was, I don't know, they look like a football team. They're not.
Yeah.
Good luck to Satterfield.
Yeah. Honestly, looking into this, like before we started it, I wish we could know who's playing in the bowl games and who's not playing in the bowl games, like way ahead of time. I wish they'd come out with a deadline. Like, hey, if you're on the roster at this point, you got to play. There's no jumping out last second or whatever, because that really puts a damper on bowl games. It makes it not even fun to watch, except for that game, because that game had so much storyline to it with, Satterfield going to Cincinnati and a lot of the Louisville players wanting to get back, pretty much show like, hey, you chose wrong. And he did choose wrong. But thank you, Cincinnati, for paying his buyout and giving us some more money so we can get the right coach in here. Moving on to another crazy game that we did not see going. We all ended up picking Jackson State in this game, the Celebration Bowl, which is the HBCU championship game. Started out shaky. NC Central went out big on Jackson State, the Fighting Deons, and then Jackson State crawled back and took the lead, I believe, going into the fourth quarter. And then it was just a dogfight all the way down to the end of regulation, ended up going into overtime. And like I mentioned to you all before we started it's kind of a funny way to lose the game. It's a HBCU championship, and probably one of the only white guys on Jackson State's team drops the game-winning touchdown.
Way to go, Whitey!
Yeah, that's I hope he uses this as fuel to play better. But man, I cannot imagine what it's like being him on campus walking around.
Dion had a little video he put on all the social media with him talking to the kid after the game. I mean, hopefully the kid recovers, but, I mean, we'll see.
Man, that's what makes me like Dion even more. I don't know if it's the screen, cameras are there, I'm going to say the right thing, but I don't care what it is because the guy always says the right thing, and I feel like it's genuine. And like I said –
yeah, it felt genuine.
Oh, yeah. Multiple times I've said this. If there's anybody I would play for, it would be Deion Sanders, which I know everybody would say that, but it's just if you've seen this guy and how he coached, if his name wasn't Dion, if he wasn't who he was, like as a pro athlete, I would still want to go play for whoever that is. If you talk to me like that after the game and you're real with me all the time, and I'd love to coach, play for or coach with Deion Sanders. But yeah, so we
Yeah.
all got that wrong.
Hey, it's not the first time a whitey's let the black man down. So, moving on.
Yeah, well, it's not. But John fell to 1-3 there. I went to 2-2, and Jordan took his first L of the bowl season. But we all got back on track at the last Las Vegas Bowl, where Oregon State dominated Florida, which I kind of knew was going to happen with Anthony Johnson being out for that game.
And then the pedo getting caught for
Yeah.
Florida's backup quarterback, Kitna.
Oh man, there's some funny, not funny because that's not funny at all, but there's some crazy storylines with a lot of these games, and that one was just outrageous, and Oregon State put it on them. Good job, Oregon State, getting it done and getting us back on the winning track. Next game we had was the LA Bowl, which was this the Jimmy Fallon Bowl?
This was the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Oh man. All right. Jimmy Kimmel Bowl game.
We all went Power 5 here and should have went Fresno State. That was bad. That was an ass whooping from the fucking jump.
Man, for a guy that loves the lower five teams, or what are they called, John?
Group of 5.
Group of 5 teams. For a guy that loves a group of 5 teams, man, I thought you should have went with them for sure.
Well, Fresno State didn't look too good down the stretch. That's why I didn't pick them. I thought Washington State would manhandle them. Didn't happen at all.
Yeah. I feel that. Don't worry. I went the same route. Washington State, I thought was going to pull that one off. They did not. We all took a L that week. But John, you made the right decision in the next bowl game, the Lending Tree Bowl, Rice versus Southern Mississippi. You picked correctly with Southern Mississippi, where Frank Gore Jr., I think that's why you chose him. Frank Gore Jr. went off.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Man, 320 yards rushing. I forgot how many touchdowns he had, but if he's anything like his dad, he's going to have a long, long career ahead of him. Unfortunately,
I want to hit that transfer portal, though.
Yeah, he's got it. I mean, with that performance in that game, I think if they didn't already jump in the portal and they played in this game, they're probably using this as opportunity to get their name out there, either for NIL or for, like, hey, come talk to me. I'll enter the transfer portal. So he could very well do that. I think he's only a sophomore, junior. So he can jump in that transfer portal and go somewhere big and hopefully have a long career like his dad, especially at that running back position. All right. So the next game we had here, again, John got that one correct. Me and Jordan did not. But then we flipped it here. John picked against me and Jordan with the New Mexico Bowl, SMU versus BYU. And we went with the Mormons, and John, you did not. So we got BYU getting the win there, getting us back on the win track, and getting John back on that losing track that he's been so great at doing in this bowl season. As of right now, in that game, we are sitting at 5-3. I'm sitting at 500 at 4-4, and John just below 500 at 3-5. Any thoughts or anything about those bowl games so far?
I'm like the Falcons right now. I'm losing. I got a under 500 record, but I'm still in the hunt somehow.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I was like happy that Louisville won. I didn't really worry about it. I knew there was more bowl games to go. I knew I was going to catch up regardless. But I was happy that Louisville got their win. But I was definitely shocked with the Jackson State outcome. I thought they were going to go out with a bang, but definitely with a lot of emotions riding through that game. I can see why they probably started out so shaky and not that great. But it's all good. So we'll keep going on with the last game on the 17th last week with Boise State versus North Texas. For some reason, I picked North Texas, and I got it completely wrong. Actually, I know the reason. Boise State just hasn't looked that great like they were beforehand. But you, Jordan and John, y'all picked correctly with Boise State, and y'all got the W there. Got you all back on that winning track. We got John back on the winning track and kept Jordan going. Jordan, you just happen to know what's going on in this bowl season right now, don't you?
My strategy was just pick a team with no research. So
Bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy. I love it. But you got that win there, and then I kind of hopped on your train there with picking the same team as you for this Myrtle Beach Bowl. Which Jordan, is it in Myrtle Beach? No, it isn't.
nope, it is in Conway.
Conway. This is a con of a bowl. It's not even in Myrtle Beach. But Marshall versus UConn, which ended up being a close game. It was a pretty good game. John chose UConn in this one, though, and the Thundering Herd got the W here. Next game we had was the famous, which I don't know how famous it is, but famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Eastern Michigan versus San Jose State. Me and Jordan picked San Jose State, and John, you picked correctly with Eastern Michigan. Good job on that one. Got you back into it.
Only getting games right if I pick a MAC school.
I'm telling you, man. I guess we'll keep that trend going for next year. We'll try to, because I mean, like you just said, the transfer portal are making a lot of these teams stronger and kind of catch you off guard. And we'll know this for next year with bowl season. A lot of teams lose a lot of their players because of injuries, transfer portal. So we got to start looking how these backups are doing. Which now that I'm looking at it, there's one game that's coming up on the 31st I might want to look at because I know what the backup quarterback looks for this one team. But we'll go on to the Boca Raton Bowl where we had Liberty versus Toledo. Me and John, we picked correctly here. We picked Toledo, and we got the
MAC school.
MAC school. We went with it. Jordan did not. He went with Liberty, which if this was last year and they had what was it, Willis?
Yeah, Malik Willis.
They had Malik Willis on that team. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would pick Liberty, but we had Toledo going into that, and
head coach left Liberty too. He went to where did he go?
Auburn.
Yeah, I almost said Ole Miss for some reason. Sorry.
Oh, what? Speaking of Auburn, real quick, did you see the class that he put together in a couple weeks?
Yeah, man, use that sleazeball money to fund the football program.
It went from a ranked 60th class into like the top 15, top 16.
Put that hooker money to work.
You got to spend it on quality.
How about that?
Also, Air Force just scored a passing touchdown and has more passing yards than Baylor, so hell is freezing over.
I'm not freezing over. They did that to us last year. I'm not shocked at all. Air Force literally runs.
Air Force doesn't pass though, bro. Air Force doesn't pass.
I'm not shocked. Air Force didn't throw the ball at all last year. What they do in the bowl game against us, throw the ball, and they beat us. They had more passing yards than us, which is not that much of a shock.
Y'all played Air Force last year?
Yeah, they did. They got their asses kicked.
Yeah, because they were throwing the ball.
Hold up. No.
But Air Force is they kicked it into gear right now, but that's their trick play is a forward pass. Trick play.
Yeah, they discovered the forward pass in bowl season.
They discover it at the right time. So looks like they're going to get that win. But before that game, we had the New Orleans Bowl where we had South Alabama versus Western Kentucky. John, I get why you picked South Alabama. They were 10-2, but forgetting who WKU is, man. They have an offense that can explode. Austin Reed, I wish he would have stayed in the transfer portal and came to Louisville. That would have been a great pickup, but I get it. He's done enough transferring. He showed that he can win on multiple levels. So he went out there and threw for 330 yards, I believe, in the first half. Finished with almost 500 yards passing in the whole game. That guy's going to probably be on the Davey O'Brien trophy list next year.
How many bowl wins in a row is that for Western? That's got to be some kind of streak. So I feel like they win one every year.
Yeah, they got to be on a win streak here. They make it to a bowl game, whether their record's 6-6, but they feel like they've been winning a lot of their bowl games. They get it together at the right time.
They beat Appalachian State last year 59-38. 2020 they lost to Georgia State.
There was one where it was just a straight shootout the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They won in 2019. Didn't play a bowl. Then 2018 lost to Georgia State again in 2017. I mean, it's up and down, but I mean their offense is so high powered honestly, you would think that they actually would win a lot of those games.
It's hard for you to scout that. I mean, their offense has a lot, and it's always been like that. No matter if it was Jeff Brom there, Bobby there, and the coach they have now there, their offense has just always seemed to be explosive, at least for the last decade. But as of right now, after that bowl game, before Baylor and Air Force goes to triple zeros, is currently 8-5. Jordan 7-6. Tstalls and 6-7 for Jonathan. Got to get you better than that, Jonathan.
No, just John. Just John.
Oh, sorry, Captain Jonathan.
No,
It's
wrong.
Jonathan till you finally get a winning record.
That's a
500
good.
don't count. You got to have a winning record.
That's a good compromise right now. But we have Armed Forces Bowl going right now. I feel like that's the same bowl game we were in last year. But
It is.
Air Force is looking like they're going to take that win, and we all picked Baylor. So it looks like we're all going to get a lose in that column, but it's not over until it's over. So we'll finalize that and talk about it next week. We still got a lot of bowl games left. A lot of games I'm looking forward to coming up. The best ones are the ones that are coming up here near New Year's. So that's our bowl recap so far, at least the first half of the bowls. We're now going to transition into I guess let's go ahead and discuss basketball. Let's go ahead and get the worst of this over with.
Yay.
Both of us aren't very happy with the performance of our teams. I really don't know much to say about Louisville. We're sitting at 2-11. We took our loss tonight to NC State after looking pretty good going throughout this game. But it's the same offensive. Well, it's not even offense that we're playing out there, honestly. It's like watching kids learn how to dribble for the first time and realizing they know they can now move with the ball while they dribble. And it's just like, wow, I can dribble and run at the same time. And they just, I don't know, this offense, I don't know what we're doing. Kenny Payne, I'm giving him a chance. I'm giving him this whole year. I'm going to give him all summer to bring in his players because it's the same thing we did for Scott Satterfield. He was using Bobby's players and did great. Now Kenny Payne has what's left of Max players, which Max players weren't that great to begin with.
Neither was Mac.
Huh?
Neither was Chris Mack.
Yeah, no, Chris Mack wasn't good either, but Chris Mack used Rick Pitino's players to, look good his first couple years, and then he got his players in and went to crap, and then now Kenny Payne's left with his players, and I love the heart of L. Ellis. He does play his heart out there, I can tell, but it's just something about the headband. Always got to make it look straight. I know it's small stuff, but it's like the offense starts at the half-court line, and it starts with about 10 seconds left in the shot clock, and it's a whole bunch of screens that aren't great screens are getting set. They're just getting their knee on somebody. They're not putting their whole body into them. He runs into
At least your offense moves.
Yeah. When you're watching this team play, which I'm sure you said Kentucky does the same thing, but when you're watching this team play, it's
they just staying still in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's staying still basketball, and it's one guy just running around. Hey, give me a screen. Oh, that one didn't work. Hey, give me a screen. Ah, that didn't work. Hey, give me a screen. Oh, wait, there's 5 seconds. Run down. Try to shoot a shot. Either gets blocked or L. Ellis can hit some shots, which, I mean, he had a 30-point, 10 assists game just 2 games ago, but it's like, man, there's no way this roster, the talent that's on this roster, should be 2-11. I'm over the confidence thing. I'm over these kids got to get over whatever it is. When you're playing for a Division I used to be powerhouse, you should not have any doubt in your mind that you're good. You're playing for Louisville, the University of Louisville. Like, you have that on your chest, dude. And right now these guys are worried about what's on the back of their jersey, and that's very, very, very pitiful. I don't know what to do. We're projected to lose every game out because the ACC is unpredictable. But one thing that's very predictable is Louisville's not going to win a game. We have what I don't want to play in 9 days against you guys.
Fake COVID again.
Hey,
Yeah.
you have a 1.4% chance via ESPN's matchup predictor for that game.
I think that's way too much prediction. I mean, way too much for us. But hey, I mean, go out there, show some heart. Just don't let it be over 30. Honestly, and that's sad, man. That's sad. I remember being so excited for this game. So much hype around this game. It's kind of just like how football has been. There's so much hype around this game just to be let down, and that's what it's been. I mean, I know we won the last matchup, but again, COVID happened last year, and we knew it was going to happen last year, so we can't really use the whole "we won the last matchup." It's more of just a shot at Kentucky fans, just like at least we won the last one, but we knew what would happen when we played last year. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox and stop ranting about how bad we are, and just give Kenny Payne some time. I mean, these guys just look like they don't know how to play basketball, and it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. So that's my rant. You guys go on. Tell me how bad Kentucky is with this number one recruiting class.
Oh man, if we can just bench Severe Wheeler for an entire game, the number of turnovers and the number of dumb fuckery would go down. And if Cal would just run an offense that wasn't from 2009, this team might be undefeated. They might still lose to Gonzaga because that's a really good team, but they for sure beat UCLA and they whooped the dog shit out of Michigan State.
That Michigan State game, man, it was just a lot of mental breakdown mistakes. And two of them were by last year's National Player of the Year. I mean, showboat. Like, I've never seen this man showboat any time last year. He showboated twice in that game. Like, oh, look at me, I just got a big block. And then you give up. You don't pay attention on defense. Like, I don't care what your man was. Like, and everyone starts moving. Like, you're the center. You're obviously down in the post. And you just let a dude just walk right down under the basket for a dunk. I mean, that's ridiculous. And that goes to coaching. So, I mean, what we've all known for a long time is Cal can get kids in. It's not so much, I wouldn't ever say just roll the ball out, but it's getting pretty dang close. But, I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, you had Florida A&M's coach last night. Like, they looked way better when Severe Wheeler was not on the floor. Like, the dude, I like him. He's a very likable kid. But at the same time, the team, it looks vastly different with him off the floor. The ball moves better. The offense moves better. I mean, you just –
Is he a transfer or is he a high school?
He's from Georgia.
He came from Georgia 2 years ago, so this is his second year here. Last year was his first. I mean, he was, it was good. Him and Tata last year, it meshed. There were times last year where there was times last year that looked like they were. I mean, it kind of looked like how they are this year. He just dribbled around till there's like 5 seconds left, then he would throw up a stupid ass shot, and that carried over to this year. Yeah, so I mean, you're right there.
Louisville's pretty much Kentucky with worse athletes, worse players. And that was my main problem when we got Kenny Payne, which I was hyped to get Kenny Payne because of recruiting. He didn't do that. And then I thought about it. I was like, this man only knows pro-style offense with players that know how to be pros and know how to dribble ball, know how to shoot the ball, know how to create. We don't have players that have that. And you guys are starting to see what it's like to have those players be able to create. But when you play teams like Gonzaga that has a coach that has players that can play, and he can also coach them out of situations. So it's definitely we're in rough spots. I mean, at least you guys get recruits and get the hype around your program. We're at what the heck is going on? We don't know basketball and we're not getting players.
I mean, I will say last night's game, I know there was a lot of flack going on Twitter and whatnot about them coming back in the game, but I do think, I mean, we went up like 18 within the first like few minutes of the game. That game was never in any doubt in my mind. I didn't really care that he threw out wonky ass fucking lineups in a live game against other competition because I think he's trying to find who the fuck's going to play where.
It's when you're supposed to do this against bad teams.
Who gels together? Like that's. I think
became
that
pretty obvious though towards the end whenever they cut it to 7 and then they got back up by 20 that Cason Wallace has to be the starting point guard because as soon as Wheeler was in for a while, they started chipping into the lead and they put Wallace back in and they blew him out.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, he's got to be the point guard going forward, and he doesn't even have to score, but he can score, and he can score in bunches. So
you got to get Toppin out of the game too, man.
That's the thing. I don't understand with Toppin what's going on because he came out. You seen flashes last year of being competent enough to play. I mean, the first few games of the season, I mean, he was hitting turnaround jump shots. 15-footers. He was creating his own shot. I mean, does the dude just lack confidence? Like, is he just he had a bad game and got ridiculed, and now he's just like.
Continue on about Kentucky and the troubles that they're having. So go on, John.
So Calipari made some comments earlier today saying it's harder to play for Kentucky now, and he's basically blaming the fans for ridiculing the players.
Not the right approach, but
no, it's like he doesn't know what he used to have these radio shows where he had people call in and actually listen to the fans and act like he actually gives a shit. Now it just seems like he's I don't know what he's doing, but he's not listening to fans. He's not taking phone calls when he is having his radio show. He only took one phone call in his radio show earlier this week. It's weird. It's like he's isolating himself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is because I mean it is tough. I mean, I think we can all know that social media brings us as fans closer to players and whatnot. So. But having that access and a bunch of asshats that get online and just post whatever they want without having any recourse for actions, it's hard to do that. I mean, people say the stupidest shit. We all know that there are parts of this state that don't like, any people other than white people, and you get those guys on there. It'd be hard. It'd be really hard. I wouldn't like it, but then again, at the same time, you got to learn to step away. But he doesn't need to ridicule the fans because he does that a lot. Like he's the smartest man in the room, but also there are some fans that need to do better and just keep your mouth shut. Criticize them, don't criticize the players, and just move on with it that way.
Yeah.
Yep. To counter that point, not some of the points you made, but to one of the points, to get the stupid fans to shut up, win. That's simple.
It's easy recipe.
I heard somebody say this one time, but it was winning's the best deodorant. Winning's the best deodorant. Like if you stink, win. Nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
I mean that's true, 100%. And I mean it's good that we're beating the bad teams, but we also should beat Michigan State. We should have probably beat UCLA. I can't speak much on that game because I didn't watch it. I had other stuff going on.
Yeah, they should have beat them. Mick Cronin in the locker room was openly mocking how Kentucky had a way more talented roster, basically in a roundabout way saying that if he had that roster, they would have killed him, like if they would have swapped rosters, which is fair because I think he's a great coach and whatever, all that. But I don't like what Calipari's doing right now with the program. I think he's steering it the wrong way. I think he's making everything about Kentucky more negative. And he kind of sounds like a guy on the way out. I kind of hope so because that $50 million buyout's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why they gave him a lifetime contract, but, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I think – what does he only have? I mean, I don't remember the terms of it, but I think not this year. I think obviously after next year, the year after, he can turn that coaching into like an administrative role, kind of like what Coach K is doing at Duke right now.
Yep. It's 2 years from now.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, he probably is on his way out. And he's just waiting for that time to hit and then move over into that role. Good discussion for the future. Who would replace him? That'd be a good discussion for the future.
You'll have people
Uh,
knocking at the door to
yeah, we can get anyone we want.
yeah,
Honestly, we can get any coach we want.
yeah.
We could pull guys from the NBA. We can pull guys who have. Is Brad Stevens still coaching the Celtics?
He's in like a management GM role,
Yeah, he's there.
That's who.
basketball operations.
That's who I want. If I had my choice, that's the first guy I'm calling.
I think he's done though. He's done with the college level. He's had success at the NBA level. He's probably at the point where he's like, I'm happy where I'm at, making this much money. Why stress myself at the college level?
Exactly. He's out of coaching. He's in the GM role. He's got a hell of a team that he's put together in Boston, making money. Probably loves it up there. I mean, the dude turned his mid-major coaching into a freaking lifetime in the NBA, running one of the best run organizations over the past
He did what Rick
16 years.
Pitino and John Calipari wish they could have done.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw another name out. Jay Wright.
Ooh.
I'd really like to have Jay Wright.
You think he'll leave
Yeah,
Villanova?
but at that time in a few years, God, he's gonna be a little bit older.
Yeah.
So was Calipari when we hired him, though.
Yeah, but Jay Wright and Calipari are probably at the same age right now, right?
No, Jay Wright's a little bit younger, man.
Is he? Okay. I mean,
it would be a good. I would love Jay Wright. Don't get me wrong, but I just think the next person to come, I feel like they would target someone younger.
Yeah.
It's younger. That's going to
Musselman probably. I mean, I could probably grab him from Arkansas.
That's the name I heard too.
Musselman, Nate Oates. I would love either of them. I mean,
but those guys are building their own kind of thing because
Musselman has Arkansas rolling, dude. I mean, that's
one of the best teams I've seen this year. It's one of the best.
They're a very good team when they're healthy. I mean, he took them to the Elite Eight last year. He's taken them to the Elite Eight, I think, in the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, that dude is good. Yeah. He's ferocious. I feel like he's a player's coach, just like you were talking about Dion earlier, being a player's coach. I just think that at that point, depending on what success he has over the next few years, because we also got to think about that, who these guys have success over the next few years. If they come in, would he leave?
Yeah, we don't need a Shaka Smart deal.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, man. They got to stop with these big contracts, but that's what the coaches want now. They want those big contracts to have the big buyouts if they get fired. But you got to sit a young coach down, not Musselman. Musselman knows what he's worth, and he's going to want a big bag. And can Kentucky give that big bag after just giving a lifetime contract to Cal? So it's probably going to be an up-and-comer. It's not going to be anybody like Musselman unless he's, like, willing to give a deal or y'all willing to blow the bank on him.
Well, I mean, I think the way that the athletic department is run, I mean, they turn a profit every year and they don't take any money from the actual university. Mm-hmm. So in terms of paying a coach, I mean, Calipari's not going to be making $9 million, $8.5 million a year once he turns that administrative role. You know, I think it goes down to a few $100,000. There'll be that money to throw at the next coach.
Yeah, maybe he can go spend time with his dogs, like he said when he lost the SEC championship. Motherfucker.
He said, "I'm gonna spend time with my dogs."
Yeah, look up that fucking interview. That still pisses me off. He got his ass kicked by Tennessee, and that's the first thing he said in the interview.
Oh, I mean, he's
spend time with dogs.
He lost so much of him, so he doesn't even seem like the same guy from the first 6 years.
No, he had success. He got his championship. He got what he wanted. He showed Kentucky who he is, and he knew Kentucky wasn't about to fire him. And he got a lifetime contract and pretty much a lifetime bag. I don't care what you're going to do to me. You're going to fire me? No, because you're going to have to give me however much money. So he's going to do whatever he wants. I mean,
I feel like he's been the same since that 2015. He's been going down ever since that 2015 undefeated season where he lost to fucking Wisconsin.
Dude, that is like I look back at when my fandom started waning a little bit, is like I personally never recovered from that loss.
That
There
one,
was so much investment in that season, doing something that never been done. I mean, or hasn't been done in, not never been done, but hasn't been done in years. Like, I mean, he turned around, and the thing was, his team after that went to the Sweet 16, lost to Indiana, which is inexcusable, losing to Indiana. But I mean, it wasn't a bad Indiana team. And then
the
the
year
next
after that one though was the one that I was all in on. I was
dude, that one
so
really.
the undefeated season. I kept saying they're going to lose. They're going to lose a game because it's college basketball now, and it's in the 70s. Nobody goes undefeated anymore.
You want to get that loss in, man, and best to get that loss in like right before the SEC tournament, right before conference championship. You want to lose that game.
Which, lose the SEC tournament.
Lose, but man,
I mean, the 2012 team lost to Vandy in the SEC title game, and they made their run to the title. I mean, I would never want to go put the pressure of undefeated on anyone ever again because it's a lot for.
He said he wanted it though. He asked for it. He said that was one of his goals.
Yeah, I mean, then you turn around just like you were saying. The year after, 2 years after that, with
that was the year that that's the year where mine started waning. Like, whenever Derek Willis decided not to play defense and let the dude hit the shot for the win, Luke May or whatever the fuck his name was, fuck him too. But that was the one where I'm like,
it's been a straight downward spiral ever since then.
Yeah, since the loss. All right, well, let's go ahead and transition this into predictions. Just give me a quick prediction on what you think the season will be. And obviously, we'll talk about it more so in weeks to come. But as of now, in results of the season, where do you see Kentucky?
Jordan, you go first.
I'll go top 4 in the SEC, not 1 or 2. I'm gonna say you ended up 3 or 4, hell, maybe even 5 in the SEC standings. Not gonna win the SEC tournament, and I don't think we'll make it out of the first weekend. That's sitting right now. From what I've seen and how we've played, that's taking these first 11 games, not making it out of the first weekend. I don't think it'll be a first-round exit. Get to that Saturday or Sunday game, I think we'll get bounced just the way they're playing right now.
As of right now, I mean, you're in rankings-wise, you're 5th in the SEC. So in the standings of the SEC, you are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9th in the SEC. But
that's just going off overall record. There might have been some conference games, but I know we haven't played one yet.
Yeah, you haven't played any games yet. So that's just off rankings. You're currently 19th in the nation. Indiana's right above you, which Indiana, I can speak a little bit on, not too much. Hoosiers we'll see how they do. I don't know where they are. But, John, what's your thoughts? What's your prediction?
So I'm going to give my last little bit of hope to Cal in this. So in 2014, he had this, right before he turned that season around, he had this thing called Camp Cal, during the winter break. And every year there seems to be some sort of little thing he tweaks during that where the team gets a little bit better. 2014, I used that one as that was the best example. That went in the 2011 team right before the championship year or right after. I can't remember. The one with Brandon Knight.
Brandon Knight was right before.
Yeah. But those 2 years were the ones that stick out to me. If he can tweak the team around and move his rotations around like he did then I see us in the Elite Eight. If he doesn't and he keeps playing Wheeler with ridiculous minutes, we may miss the tournament. I know it's a stretch, but there's a lot of good SEC teams this year.
I mean, I'm with you there. I mean, I could see it. It would be like you said, it's a stretch to reach to that far, but it's not out of the realm of possibility of going a 20-10 first round exit in the SEC tournament and just missing out like Louisville did a couple of years ago, where I thought they were in, and then they were the first team out.
Yeah,
I thought they had done enough to just at least make it, but
the other point is, or the other reason I'm saying they might miss, like that Louisville game, they're actually going to play motivated. We saw what they looked like when they played against Western.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Bellarmine, that was a shaky.
That's I don't want to call it a potential loss because it feels like we could blow them out. But man, if they don't do something about the point guard spot and Toppin getting ridiculous minutes as well, like those two guys need to be riding pine the rest of the year if it's up to me. But it is what it is.
That Louisville game is, I mean, I'll be honest, that game, I don't think that game is going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. Yep. I think the only thing that saves us is we're at home.
That the thing it's going to show me how good they really are is the game against Missouri, because Missouri they're one of those teams that look good. I think
they've got a great record, but they haven't played anybody.
Their one loss, they lost by 30. So when they go play at Missouri, that's really going to show me what we really got, because they're not good, but they're not bad either.
That's next Wednesday, I believe, right? That's right before the Louisville game. So yeah, I mean,
that game right before us.
Yeah,
I think we're done until the game. So, I guess I'll give my prediction. You know what? Louisville's going to be the first 19-11 team to win it. We're going to win out for the rest of the year.
Chill out the Michelos, bro.
I want to be a little light with what I say, but I can see us maybe getting 3 more wins this year. I just hope we stay competitive. Definitely can see Fabio, who's shown he's supposed to be a senior in high school right now, but he's shown what he can do, and I think I'm really hoping he doesn't use this as a platform to just transfer out, which he very well can, and I won't be mad at him if he does. But I can see Fabio playing a lot more. I'm just hoping we don't get burnouts here, because
I'll be honest, if you want to win some games, Zan Payne does not need to be on the floor.
No, he does not. I don't care if
he was on the floor tonight, and I'm sorry, dude. I know it's your son, but that is not your best opportunity to win a ball game.
And I hear it all the time, and I say it all the time. Like, if you're telling me the first guy off our bench is your son, which he did that for the first couple games. The first guy off the bench was his son. If you're telling me he's the first one off the bench, and we have 4 stars, 3 stars even on that bench not coming off yet, and you're telling me they're doing something wrong, what is he doing right, and what are they doing wrong to make you play him over them? Because there's no way I get it for some walk-ons, they are definitely ballers. There's been plenty of those kind of walk-ons throughout Louisville's history, or 3 stars outperform a 5-star, but I have not seen anything from Zet Payne other than horrible defense, horrible offense. You couldn't even tell his dad was a professional athlete. You couldn't even tell that his dad or that he played at UK last year. Like, I don't want to harp on the kid because, hey, you're doing what I can't do. So I'll give him praise for that. But just prediction-wise, man, maybe 2 or 3 more wins. I just hope we play strong and don't just give up like we did in 2018 for football. Just finish out strong, man. It is what it is now. There's no pressure to win games now. There's no pressure on you at all. Go play freely like Coach wants you to. Just flow. Don't think. Just flow. And honestly, I kind of want to tell them, Coach, maybe they do need to think, because it looks like they're not thinking and they're just don't know what to do. So play freely. Just don't go out there doing, throwing up Steph Curry threes and doing showboat and one stuff, but go out there and just pass the ball around, set some screens, play good defense, stay motivated. And I'll look forward to next year.
Does anyone else see the comparison of L. Ellis and Xavier Wheeler as the same player?
Yeah.
Only L. Ellis can score better.
He drives to the rack, which I get it, man. He's getting told after being a scorer his last 2 or 3 years playing basketball, he's being told you need to facilitate and you need to pass and get other players open. Well, he can't do that when the other players are just standing around watching him dribble the ball. How is he supposed to be able to do that? So he drives to the rack, and he can't score on a 6'10" guy who's about to pin him to the backboard. So he jumps up in the air to get everybody looking at him, and then he's looking, trying to find somebody to pass it to. Maybe he makes a good pass, or maybe he throws it 20 feet above their head and it goes out of bounds. We don't know what's going to happen, but good God, if L. Ellis went out of got injured, I really think we would lose every game by 40+ points. So please, L. Ellis, stay healthy. Throw up crazy shots. Just stay healthy and stay in the game. And Kenny Payne, man, you got to develop a new philosophy. I'm tired of the good cop stuff. He was a good cop with Cal, and it worked because you had 5 stars. It's not going to work with these 3 stars and these walk-ons, man. You got to change it up.
Cal played a pretty good bad cop.
Yeah,
I mean that's what he needs to be though. Cal needs to be the bad cop, and someone else. You need.
We have a whole bunch of good cops on our team. I mean, we have good cops as our coaches. We can't be Nolan Smith, good cop. Danny Manning, good cop. Kenny Payne, good cop. You can't be the good guy, man. You never get anything out of kids if you're just like, oh, it's okay. Oh, next time. Come on, get back on defense. No.
I think I coached my 4- and 5-year-old baseball players harder this past season than these college kids are getting coached. I mean, come on now. We're all adults here. We've all been.
That's the first time I heard. That's the first time I heard anybody from Louisville being referred to as a good cop.
I'm not used to good cops. Yeah. Oh shit, I got you. But
did you not get that at first?
I thought you were talking about Rick Pitino at first, and I was like, "Oh, dang, okay, I got you."
Rick Pitino definitely would not have fit a good cop model. The dude's like a mafia leader.
He said, "I've never heard good cop out of."
Give an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man, that was good. We need Rick Pitino to give Kenny Payne a call and just like, hey, I believe I left some treadmills back there for you to use because that was the punishment he had. If you turned the ball over or didn't do the objective of that practice that day, you would ran on the treadmill for however long until he felt like getting you off. Just listen off to the podcast I listened to with Luke Hancock and other former players on there. That's literally what they did, and I don't know what we do now. Maybe he just pats him on the back and say, it's okay. We'll get it next time.
Patino's going to call him and give him an offer he can't refuse.
Oh, man, I hope he – well, the only offer he wants is us to say sorry to our former AD and then, of course, give him a bag of money because he knows what he's really worth. But, I don't know. Josh Hurd, if he pulls that off, man, he got pressured. He got pressured into this hire. He did. He got pressured and – I'm not mad at him because I would probably.
is it going to be a Bobby 2.0 scenario? What if he comes in?
Do you see what he's doing at Iona?
I mean, yeah, the dude's a fucking hell of a coach, man.
He is the greatest coach probably. Well, y'all have Rupp, but I think he's probably one of the greatest coaches to coach.
Well, I'll make this point. If he would have never left Kentucky would probably have 3 or 4 more championships.
Yeah.
And
dude, yes.
Bet that.
Because he would have won. He should have won 97. He would have won 98 regardless. I mean, if you gave him the same guys that Tubby had throughout those first, give him that Tayshaun Prince team back in the day with oh man, dude, that would have been. And not to say Tubby wasn't that bad of a coach.
Tubby was better than Cal.
Yeah. Tubby got run out.
Our Fab Six from Mac's only highlight of his time here. If you gave Rick Pitino that 5'6", which was Jalen Withers, freaking dude from Louisville, I'm blanking on his name. He went pro to the Raptors, but if you gave him that 5'6", Sam Williamson, and all that, I guarantee we would have been an Elite 8 team, or we would have had some recruits come in, no doubt. We were ranked number 1 with Chris Mack as our coach. I think we would have been perfectly fine with Rick Pitino there.
I don't know, man. It's frustrating that it's gotten to this point because I think the problem is we went through the off season and saw that trip to the Bahamas, and they looked great. I mean, they beat
coaching that team though.
But yeah, I mean, you made that point the other day, Johnny. He wasn't coaching that team. He wasn't the coach of those games. He wasn't in charge of rotations and minutes, and he just sat back and watched. And I mean, just look at how much different. I mean, I don't know. I hear people still saying throw the ball into Sheetway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do y'all screamed to have people shoot the outside shot, and now if they miss a couple, you're like, go back inside. Mm-hmm. So it's also, I mean, most of us fans are most of the fans are pretty fucking stupid.
I'd say the ones on Twitter are pretty stupid. The ones that
everyone on Twitter is stupid though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like a lot of them on Twitter are horrible. But like the ones you talk to in person, they're not that bad.
Yeah,
like that's every fan base though. Every fan base has that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, except for Eagles fans, they're the absolute scum of the earth.
Oh,
every Philadelphia sports team is the fucking scum of the earth.
I would throw New Orleans in there, but they're all like used to swimming in fish bowls and stuff. You know how that goes.
All right. Well, let's go on a brighter note here. With
That joke was dark. I'm sorry.
It was a little dark. I went over it. Let's go with National Signing Day. A big bright spot for UofL football, not basketball. I wish, but football. We did retain majority of the players that we were going to get when Satterfield was in. Our thoughts was that we will lose a lot of them because Satterfield went to Cincinnati. Well, happily, we're happy he went to Cincinnati. But among those, we do have a top-rated lineman. We do have DBs. We do have our quarterback of the future. We have edge. We have edge rushers. We have linebackers. Leading that off, we have Madden Sanker, 4-star lineman. Aaron Williams, 4-star DB. Pierce Clarkson, who is the main recruiter for us right now with this California list of players that we got, including Aaron Williams. But Pierce Clarkson, 4-star quarterback, was one of the lead 11 QBs in the nation. Looking forward to getting these players here, man. We had, 12 signees. We're still waiting on one more, and Jamari Johnson, which we believe he will make his commitment in the Under Armour All-American game. That'll be huge for us. He's an athlete, which I believe he played tight end or defense, either one. I'm just glad to have another athlete on this team. And, man, it's looking up. And we didn't just stop there. Well, Jeff didn't just stop there. A lot of players around the nation seeing what we are doing and what what Jeff can do. And transfer portal-wise, we got Jimmy Callaway, receiver out of Tennessee, Jaden Thompson, receiver from Cincinnati. So it looks like he said, Satterfield's coming, I'm leaving. Good move, right choice. Roddy McGraw, edge rusher out of Penn State. Miles Slusher, another transfer safety out of Arkansas. So we got a SEC safety coming over to us and an SEC receiver. Devin Neal transferring in from Baylor, and then a hometown hero. And Stephen Heron Jr. played at Trinity, was probably, I believe, top 3 in the state when he left out. Coming over from Stanford. So, man, things are looking up for us for sure. I'm excited to get these guys in here. A lot of them are early enrollees. But as we know, things can change. Players will say they're coming, and then next week they're gone. As with one of the recruits we were talking about earlier, Jordan and John, kid that flipped from Oregon to wherever to now Oklahoma. So anything can happen. But as of now, I'm happy, satisfied with signing day. What about you all?
Man, I'm excited. Devin Leary is coming to Kentucky. That can change. I mean, him and Liam Cohen can change the way the program has been looking this year. We might be able to upset some big teams next year. We got Alabama at home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be hopeful. I'd love to see that happen. I know too many Bama fans that are Kentucky basketball fans that I'm going to absolutely talk ever loving shit out of.
That sounds like a bunch of bandwagon right there. You're a fan.
There's a lot of them.
Fan of Kentucky.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Then we got that running back Davis from Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
He ran all over us in that game. What's up?
That one, I was saying the same thing, the one that ran all over us for no reason.
Yep. And then we got we got a DB from Cincinnati. I forgot his name.
I got it here. So, I mean, the transfers are the immediate impact.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jansen Dunn. He's from Bowling Green. He went to Ohio State, just transferred in this year. So he's got 3 years of eligibility left. I mean, he's transferring his safety. JQ Hardaway is at Cincinnati DB that you're talking about. He's going to have 3 years of eligibility. On the back four that really has been a strong suit for our defense for a very long time. And then obviously Devin Leary, Ray Davis, and then probably
a couple offensive linemen.
The offensive linemen that are transferring in that are going to
Marquise,
let some of these young guys step back and learn a little bit, because these guys are going to step right in. One from Northern Illinois who we played this year.
Marquise Cox, he's a monster. He was the number 1 rated tackle in the transfer portal. And then Tanner Bowles, I think he's another tackle. He came from Alabama. He actually played every game for Alabama.
He's from Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's
from Glasgow, so he's close to me down here too. I mean, but all in all, we held our recruiting class together. All 17 verbal commits signed, and we're still waiting on. I think his name is a running back, last name Wilcox. I think it's Jamarian Wilcox. Still waiting on that decision to come down.
Stoops was really high on that guy. He said he could be the lightning to the thunder of Davis.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited. I mean, 100%. I'm excited. I think, all in all, talent-wise, this is probably one of the better classes that Stoops has brought in. It's not a drop-off. It might be a drop-off in the overall rank. I mean,
it'd be drop-off on defense for now.
Yeah, I could see that.
Offensively, this runs laps around this year.
But I think defense is probably one of the places where we do have quite a bit of depth at. I know we're losing all 3 or 4 of our starting linebackers, but we have also had a lot of injuries this year where those guys behind them have played, and they're going to step in, and I don't think you're going to see that much of a drop-off.
Yep, that's true.
It's looking good for both of us, honestly. We're both in the top 50 rankings for, transfer and recruits-wise, getting them all in. You're sitting at 25. We're sitting at 42, which overall ratings, we're 89. You guys are 88, but I think it's more so the transfer portal helping you all out with that ranking-wise. And definitely your highest rated is Shamar Porter, the receiver.
That dude, man, you want to talk about that dude is good.
You definitely have weapons on, at the receiver position. As a freshman, you definitely can get clocked no matter what. I think that's an easy one. Now, again, I said this in the last podcast with getting linemen as a top, no matter what they're rated. I mean, that's a hard position to play as a freshman. It's a lot to learn and the skill level you're playing against. So Madden Sanker is our highest rated at 93. But we also have Aaron Williams, who's a DB. He can play right away. There's no problem with getting him clocked. Pierce Clarkson's one that, if we see him, it could be a good sign or a bad sign. So, honestly, we still have a lot of time left. There's still a lot of good teams playing right now in the college bowl season, and a lot of those players aren't going to announce that they're transferring until after the bowl game. So, Jeff still has some work to do when it comes to our offense, but defensive-wise, man, this staff has really did a great job in bringing in more players, and not to mention Monty Montgomery gets another year of eligibility. Braden Smith gets another year of eligibility after we thought they were gone this year. So we're bringing back a senior receiver. We're bringing back a senior linebacker. So I think the rivalry is back when it comes to football, and I'm very excited for next year. I wish we could play a first game next week, but it's all good. I'll just dwell in watching basketball for now. So,
I saw somewhere, Ty, where I believe there were some rumors that Brom might go after one of his old QBs and Jack Plummer.
Jack Plummer. Yeah, Jack Plummer from Cal, which I don't know. I mean, his stats don't look bad. I mean, I watched some of his highlights. Looks good, looks decent, but I don't know how true that is with, he went to Purdue when Brom was there, but transferred away from Brom. What's the chance of him going back to Brom? But he may change.
But I mean, if you look, I think you all, or not you all, Purdue had a pretty decent, quarterback room where anybody that's going to get played over is going to end up going away.
Right.
So I mean, that could have been a case there, but I mean, it would definitely give you a bridge year. I think you all do maybe need a bridge year with Pierce Clarkson, because obviously it's never fun to just throw someone in there.
Yeah, not a freshman, man. That's rough. One, he can get injured. Two, his confidence level, it will just go way down. But honestly, if I'm Jeff Brom, which I'm pretty sure he is with all the players we're getting, my main things I would pitch to these players, and if you're listening and you're one of these players, we're going to be playing in NFL stadiums 4 times next year. Opening game is at Georgia Tech, is Mercedes-Benz Dome, where Atlanta plays. John, you're familiar with it. We'll be playing at Lucas Oil Stadium against Indiana. That's where the Colts play. Then we'll be playing again in Miami, which I know it's not a NFL stadium anymore, but it's still a nice stadium to play in. You're going to get exposure, and we play the style offense that you want to come and play in. I mean, why not? We show that the NIL money's here. Why not? We have the offensive weapons. Why not? So I'm excited, man. I'm ready to see what we can do.
You sound like a Kentucky fan from like 5 years ago.
For basketball?
No, for football. They used to say, "Why not us?" all the time.
Oh, man. Well, they have an answer there. Why not? Why not is who your coach is. But yeah, that was a great episode, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in and listening to what we have to say. We hope you enjoy what we listening to what we say. If not, that's fine. Why don't you jump on?
Not fuck you.
Jump on the show and debate with us, talk with us, discuss with us, enjoy it. But yeah, that's our bowl recap. That's our unacceptable performances from our basketball teams. But we'll hopefully jump back and get better, and we'll talk to you all next week, and maybe we'll have different things to say about our team. But I know what's going to happen with my team. So maybe John and Jordan have a little bit better things to say. And yeah, and that's our National Signing Day. We'll give a little bit more details on who's to come, if we get any more signees or any more transfers.
That and I'll just go ahead and say Baylor just took the L, so now we've all dropped another game in our pick'em. So, but we got 2 chances tomorrow with the Independence Bowl and the Gasparilla Bowl. So we'll have a couple more chances to see what we can do there.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a good holiday weekend, Hope you all enjoy your holidays, man.
Where's all the damn snow? Why is my car not fucking covered?
It's all here.
It's covered here.
It's all
here too.
I'll bring it to you. But
I'm about to
thank you all for listening in. Thanks for listening in.
Thanks, everybody.
Out.
Drizzy out.
Captain Hook out.
And Jonathan.
I said Captain Hook, damn it.